This year, the BBC contracted Vizrt and Idonix for the 2014 local and European elections. The BBC asked us to provide a system that was a complete managed system for VR. So we don't provide the tracking system, but we provide the integration to the tracking system. So our responsibility starts at when we receive data from the tracking system, and we have to calibrate all of the lenses and calibrate all of the systems, and then combine that into the Viz IO and then spread it to all of the render heads. So that was their main requirement, was that when the talent arrived on the set, that he could start basically rehearsing and going through and stepping through the graphics. We don't provide the control of the VR, that's basically done from Idonix, so Idonix have an interface that allows the control of the whole system.
Idonix's role in elections is all about presentation, primarily, so it's data integration from the results system, the results providers, providing then the interfaces into the graphic systems. So primarily about UI, processing of data, presentation rules about which parties should be represented, rounding rules so that numbers look sensible, and provide a fluid, easy to use user interface to allow producers and operators to get graphics to air.
The touchscreen has to be a relatively simple design while showing complex data and be operated live. Ignition is used to set up the sequence of graphics as Emily Maitlis goes on air.
We talk directly to Viz Engine, so we're sending commands from our Ignition server software directly to many Viz engines, so that's for full forms and lower thirds, however many Viz renderers are required for VR. On top of that, then we have a layer of script running inside of the Viz Engine. So there it's responsible for primarily transition logic within the scene, so we can move cleanly from one scene to the next. And again, this applies to something deemed to be trivial like lower thirds, tallies and name straps, up to VR and transitioning between different graphics within VR.
Vizrt has many years' experience in VR. This time they integrated a new tracking system by Mo-Sys and a 30-foot movie bird crane. So in order for the presenter to be able to see where he is in the virtual set, he can look in the monitor, but what they've done here is they've got a projector that is mounted in the ceiling and is projecting down onto the floor. And then he can see the map, and he's able to walk around the map and see the position of where it is. And this is actually a Viz engine that is driving the same scene, but with a different view.
So Trafford here, staying blue. And Tamworth as well, in the West Midlands, just here, staying blue. Swindon, staying blue.
And you can see here that this camera that's mounted on top of the system is looking at some reflective dots or stars in the ceiling, and as we move you can see that the picture is moving and able to track its position in space and give us that data, and we then feed that into the Viz engines to be able to track the virtual set. In the gallery, Idonix provide control for VR. The producer can build stacks of graphics, then the director can play them out live. All the final outputs are rendered by Vizrt engines. They also provide the virtual studio as a managed service, calibrating lenses and cameras.
This process needs about, let's say, 1 hour, but then we have a lens file now, so we also calibrate the center shifts, which gives us pixel-accurate results when we use accurate tracking system. So it's always half-half. One half is the geometric calibration and one half is the lens calibration. If everything is correct, we can have near pixel-accurate results for our tracking.
The main requirements for Vizrt is to provide very reliable managed service, which included the rental of software and hardware, as well as the key staff. So what we've made sure that we have is the A-team, if you like, of Vizrt virtual reality specialists. So we have a project manager, we have the head of development for R&D, and of course we've got our local BBC support team involved as well. So the main thing is to make sure that the program and even the rehearsals are stress-free by making sure we've got the right team, and we have plenty of backup equipment in case anything does go wrong with the primary software and hardware.
This is very speculative. I've always tended to say it's for entertainment only.